Hello everyone, welcome to Kiss Army Things. My name is Xander. So I want to have some fun in today's video by recreating our own version of the new Kiss Asylum Off The Soundboard album cover. I'm glad there's a new installment. I've listened to this San Antonio soundboard at least a half dozen times. It's the first one to feature Bruce, and we finally have some really cool new artwork. Look at this cool Asylum era cover. I was surprised to hear that there was no standard vinyl release for this Off The Soundboard, nor was there a standard CD. You can get a limited edition CD from Japan, but it's going to cost more for shipping than the actual item. So really it's just the bundle or streaming. Now, however, I did realize and remember that you can just buy the MP3 files off of Amazon. And that's what made me think, well, why not just get creative? We'll have some fun and make our own cover, right? You guys can download it for free. And then we'll buy the MP3 files. We'll burn our own CDs and have some, old school fun that way, right? I don't know. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and so I'm excited to create again. And so if you guys are on board with this, you like this idea, and this is fun, definitely stay tuned, and let's get started. So first, we're going to need photos, right? Photos to actually use, era-accurate photos. And personally, I don't have any photos from December 3rd, 1985 in San Antonio. I'm not even sure if these photos are from that particular show, or if they're just, again, Asylum specific. But what we do have are these photos right here. These photos were taken by Peter Arquette. He took these when he saw them in Charleston, West Virginia on the Asylum tour. So with his permission, we're going to use these photos as the basis of our new album cover. So let's go ahead and we'll open up Affinity Photo, and we're going to create a new document that's 4.7 inches by 4.7. I think that's the size of a standard CD cover. And we'll first bring in our photo of Paul Stanley. Total Asylum Paul Stanley. He's even wearing the shirt. I love when members of Kiss wear Kiss shirts. It's just, cool to me. But first things first, we need to cut Paul out of the photo. And then we'll place him here for now. We actually have two photos of Gene. So this one here is a lot closer and you can see more of his face, but his eyes are kind of closed and he's mostly cut off from the torso down. This photo over here, even though you can't see his whole face, you can't see both eyes, it's a lot clearer, it's better color, and you can see more of him, his base. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the photo that we're going to use for Gene. And once again, I'm going to go through here and cut Gene out. And we'll put him over here to the left. You're probably wondering why I have Gene on the left and Paul on the right. Well, that's because we have this photo of Bruce. What a great photo of Bruce. I love him with the sunglasses. He even has his arm extended outwards, just like Paul does on the original cover of this Off The Soundboard. So I'm going to play off of that. I'm going to put Bruce in the center here and have him take the middle spot. But first I have to, Now, I don't have a photo of Eric Carr to use from this show, so I'm just going to be using this photo from the Asylum tour as our background, and it's going to perfectly round out the composition. And the main thing here for me is color, okay? It's Asylum. It's the most colorful Kiss, okay, it's one of the most colorful Kiss eras, right? It's vibrant, it's flashy, and I don't know, the black and white cardboard just doesn't serve the era. Okay, I tell you what does though. Did anybody notice on the bottom of the album cover, the Asylum dots? They're kind of hard to see because they kind of fade in, but that's really cool. That's very Asylum, era specific. That's been pretty consistent throughout the series, is having little subtle nods to the region or the era in the logo. Luckily, I already have these dots made from a previous project, so I'll just go ahead and drop these in. For the title, we'll use Stencil Gothic JL, which is the same font as the one that's used on the Asylum album cover. And we'll even make it Asylum Blue, if you will. For the soundboard logo itself, we're going to open up Affinity Designer, and we'll just create the basic shape of the Kiss Army emblem. We'll put the Kiss logo inside, and this font is called Hershey Serif, I think. Hershey, I don't know, it's a funny name, but it looks nice. We have a few lines here that just kind of help, fill the space and divide the text up a little bit. San Antonio uses the exact same font as the title, Stencil Gothic JL. And we'll place a little tiny triangle here at the bottom, kind of like a little goatee. I can't even tell what font this is here where their names are. It's just too small. It almost looks like the stencil font as well, but I don't know, it's just too small. So I'm going to use this Captain America font just because. Okay, so now let's bring it in to Affinity Photo, and I'm going to make it yellow, just like the KISS logo on the Asylum album cover. Okay, I was a little hesitant at first to do this, but I think I'm just going to do it anyway. So, I mean, to me, the guys are just getting lost in the chaos here. Bruce, Gene, and Paul, they don't really stand out as much, and they need to stand out a little more. So what I want to do is I want to add a stroke. A small stroke around the border of each of the photos, just like you would see in a YouTube thumbnail, right? And have each one be the same color as their color on the Asylum album cover. And boom, there we have our full color San Antonio, Texas KISS Asylum Off The Soundboard cover. Very similar to the original, very much inspired by the original. Again, it's just a little bit more colorful. It's a little bit more Asylum. Now, I do want to go ahead and do a back cover. I'm having a lot of fun with this, so let's do a back cover. For the back cover, I'm going to use this photo right here of Bruce. This is from the same show, January 16th. So again, it's not necessarily from the San Antonio show, but it's supposed to just celebrate Asylum. And again, you know, we're celebrating Bruce. Somebody tag Bruce. He's getting a lot of love in this video, but I want this picture to be the back cover. Again, this was taken by Peter Arquette from that same show. And I've heard Bruce talk about this before, saying how after his guitar solo, you know, the guys are supposed to come out and then the show continues. Well, after Bruce's solo, nobody came out. So it's just him kind of stuck out on the stage by himself. And he kind of got annoyed and walked over, picked up Gene's axe bass and started, I don't know if he played it or, you know, how long he played it or whatever, but it's just a really unique moment in KISS-tory. I love moments when you have members of KISS playing, you know, other members' instruments. That's just, again, kind of like the KISS t-shirt thing from earlier. It's just really fun. So, yeah, this is the photo that we're going to use for our back cover. And you'll notice that it's obviously not a perfect square, okay? The photo is more vertical, so I am going to have to use just a little bit of AI to extend this. Normally I would use Photoshop to do this, you know, natively in the program, but I don't use Adobe programs anymore. So I found this website called AIEase that's hopefully going to give us a square image of this photo of Bruce, except extended so that we can have the track listing, we can have the date, the location, all that stuff. We just need to be a little bit wider. So fingers crossed, let's see how this goes. That might actually, if you don't look at it too long, I think that's going to be perfect. That was easier than I thought. So yes, we now have a perfectly square image to use for the back cover. And again, we're using the same font here for Live in San Antonio, Texas, December 3rd, 1985. The track listing, I want it to look very similar to the original Off the Soundboards with that typewriter-like font. Now that we've finished both the front and back cover, I want to go ahead and switch gears here and burn the CD. So let's open up. Man, I love Windows Media Player. That just brings me back to the old days of middle school, burning CDs, ripping KISS CDs, and yeah, making mix CDs. That's a good throwback feeling right there. Anyway, let's go ahead and... Ooh, I was not anticipating 2 discs, although I should have, because all of them I'm pretty sure have been 2 discs, but as you can see, it's just a little bit over. So I think what I'm going to have to do is break this up, and we'll put just the first 9, or 10, we'll do 10 because of the solo. So the first 10 will be on disc 1. And then let's put the remaining tracks on CD 2. And with that now done, we can go ahead and print the artwork. This is one of my favorite parts of the entire process. Nothing beats seeing something that you made on the computer being printed and, you know, becoming part of reality. You know what? I'm surprised. That looks really good. I was kind of worried because it's just being printed at home on regular paper, but that looks really sharp. Again, one of my favorite parts of the process. Although I must say, writing on the CD with permanent marker is pretty fun too. I don't even know if I have a CD case that can hold 2 discs. Yep. Sorry, Slim. All right. And there we go. We have our very own KISS Asylum Off the Soundboard CD, and it's in full color. So I think it turned out pretty well. Here's the back cover there. I think it turned out really well. I definitely think this feels, more like Asylum to me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on this fun creative journey. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so it's fun to get back in the creative groove again. Again, I'm going to have this uploaded for free on our Patreon. I'm going to have a link in the description. So again, anybody can download this. Obviously, it is inspired by the original artwork. But yeah, go buy the MP3 files. You can download this. Get creative, get crafty, have some fun, and make your own Kiss Asylum Soundboard CD. I'm also going to, if you're a subscriber to the Patreon, a superfan subscriber, I'm going to have alternate versions of this soundboard cover so you can kind of download, choose whichever one you want. But anyway, this is just a fun project. I'm glad to see some Kiss Unmasked era representation. I'm glad to see Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr getting some love. I love the fact that they've went with new artwork and they have actual images of the band. I think it's a step in the right direction. It looks more like Kiss. And yeah, this is just, my version of this. So hats off to the artist. And thank you for watching, everybody. I really hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. And if you want to, you can become a subscriber on our Patreon. We have exclusive content, extended content, and of course, bonus content, as well as the Kiss Army Things newsletter, which the April issue just went up. So thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. You can see their names scrolling on the screen here. Welcome our new member, Tika Carr. Nice to have you, Tika. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Kiss Army. I really appreciate it. I love, making fun videos for Kiss fans to watch, for Kiss fans to enjoy. And so if you like these videos, definitely give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out our Kiss Army Things podcast. We have new episodes coming every Sunday, unless I'm doing something like this. So either way, you can expect it to be full of Kiss Army things. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for joining me. My name is Xander. Peace out. Rock on.